Right, it is that time of the week again. It is Friday, and you are joining us for Friday with the Founders. My name is E.R. Wolf. I'm joined with my partner, Guy Toole. We are co-founders here at Elify, and we are welcoming you to the conversation and encourage you to join the conversation. Today, we're going to be talking about all things Elify, everything that you guys would want to know. So if you do have questions as we go through things, please feel free to use the reactions in Zoom to raise your hand or throw them in the comments on Zoom. Also, if you're joining us live on YouTube and you weren't able to make the live Zoom, feel free to throw those in the comments below there, and we will make sure to get your questions answered.
I just want to point one thing out before you get into this. Congratulations, Brenda and Danon, for getting your QR codes up. That's awesome.
I called them out yesterday on that, and we actually had a whole conversation about this. As many people who are watching this know, we hold 4 calls a week. We do a Monday sprint planning call. We know how important it is that we make a plan, we prepare to execute that plan, and then we execute the plan. On Tuesdays, we do that Tuesday tech training for all things around the digital technology that Elify provides. So if you need help and resources around how to use the technology, Tech Tuesday is a great way to accomplish that and really get your focus questions answered. And then Thursdays, we do a Thursday roundtable mastermind discussion where we talk about a topic. And then obviously now onto our Friday with the Founders. And Guy, as you were talking about that, on Thursday, we were talking about this aspect of getting started and taking the initial action and setting these sort of, I guess what you'd call micro goals for ourselves that we can accomplish that lead to accomplishing those bigger goals. And I know that was something, Danon, you mentioned on your sprint planning when we were talking about that. And Jeff was talking about stuff that he wanted to be accountable for. And then it's just a matter of going out and doing it and celebrating the victories. And this is something that's all about this Elify community that we want to really highlight. Is that's what it's about. It's about having a community that we can all be a part of, where we're all working to support each other's success with an abundance mentality so that everybody within the community can live a life by design. And I think that that's the most important thing. Yes, Elify is a technology company, right? Our mission is to elevate your business, simplify your life, and really find technologies in the marketplace and develop new technologies that are going to be able to be accessible to the masses. You know, we talk about big businesses spending millions of dollars. I think I saw a report, Apple had spent billions of dollars investing into NFC technology, near field communication technology for their Apple payment. You know, most of us in business don't have millions or billions of dollars to spend on technology. So here at Elify, we're focused on scaling down and simplifying the technology to make it accessible for everybody. Things like landing pages, digital business cards, relationship management, QR codes, trackable links, more data analytics, NFC technology, all so that you can accomplish the same types of things that bigger businesses are accomplishing in the marketplace. And Guy, I know you and I have spent a lot of time talking about it. It sometimes feels redundant when we do, but we want to drive the point home. We're in the midst of a digital revolution. You know, thankfully, and I'm lucky enough, and I think a lot of the people listening to this are lucky enough to transition from the analog age to the digital age. The generations, Generation Z and the ones to come, they're only going to grow up in the digital age. And so us who are segueing over, we need to realize that things are changing and the world is becoming more digital. And that now more than ever, we're leveraging digital technologies to participate in all of the economic landscapes that exist, both online and still offline. And we want to be leveraging technology to help our businesses operate more efficiently, right? We talk about time freedom. We don't want to be doing work for work's sake or taking a process that could be done digitally and sort of muddling through it on an analog fashion. Additionally, we talk about e-commerce. And, you know, it's a while ago, right? You think about the internet age, the 90s into the early 2000s, the dot-com bubble. A lot of us were around to experience this. You know, some people said the internet was going to be a fad. Can you imagine in hindsight thinking that now? And you have trillions of dollars in e-commerce happening online. So if you're not digital in your business, if you're just doing the traditional business model offline, you are missing out on an entire customer base that as time goes on, we see segueing online. That commerce is going to continue to grow, and we want people to participate in it. So, Guy, with that being said, I don't know if you want to add anything about Elify, the company, the business, the products, or anything like that.
No, I do want to add just a little bit. It got me thinking, and it starts getting us always back to our roots and getting back to the basics and why we did a lot of this. And sometimes we overlook or forget about why we are where we are and why we started doing what we did. And if any of you know a little bit about me, I grew up in a farming and ranching community. And I look back at how my dad did business and how he fostered relationships and built relationships. Well, he carried a little black book in his front pocket. And if your name and phone number was in that black book, he knew who you were and how to get a hold of you. If you weren't in there, I don't know if you were important enough to be in there, but he'd lose them. And we always called him his brains. And oh, dang it, Dad lost his brains. We all got to stop and help Dad find his brains, because there's a vet he needs to get a hold of. There's someone with fertilization of crops that he needs to get a hold of. So looking at that and how we can digitize it was a lot of why I really jumped into this and said that there's a need for this. Mm-hmm. And to know that the passion that ER and I have with this, to know that we're in the trenches on a daily basis, utilizing our technology. You know, we're not sitting here saying, hey, here we are owning a company and we have no clue what it does. You know, here in a little bit, what we love about being a part of this and having the community is we're going to ask for your feedback on some new things that are coming out. So ER spent time yesterday, or actually it's probably this morning.
It was.
And the thing is he knows our technology. He didn't have to have a VA or something, someone come in and do it for him, because we're more efficient at doing it, because we're spending days and days of our time, or hours every day of our time in our own technology. But being able to present something in a way on this platform that when we first released it, we couldn't have done. And to knowing that the advancements that we see and what we want to be bringing in, and really why Elify provides, we've talked about it probably ad nauseum these last few weeks, is micro learning, micro education, and micro technology, and the micro technology elements that are being able to be utilized within this application. We feel second to none, and we feel it's going to continue to be that way, because all the new things that we just sit down and spitball, hey, what about this? And we send it to our development team, and they scratch their head and they say they'll figure out how to get it done. And we get it done. It takes testing. So to our point on Monday, when we said, hey, here's what we're going to get done for the week. Well, we missed the mark a little bit, because we have to have revisions. There's revision elements that we had to go through to get back to design, to say, hey, we need these adjustments changed for these new onboarding emails that will be released. So we went through the process. We did the examples, but getting those revised to the point where we feel comfortable enough for them to go out, it's going to be an additional step. So that's where we are. But I guess that's the luxury that we also get.
For sure. And I think this is what's important, right? We did get progress this week. I hope everybody else made progress this week as well. I hope you're reflecting back on Friday on what you accomplished during the week, and then take an opportunity to will, skill, and refill, as we always say, over the weekend, so that you can refresh, restart, and plug in next week and make and continue your forward progress. I think that's really what it's all about in everything that we're doing and working towards, in every venture or every goal, and how we work to be successful for that. We're looking for the right tools, the right knowledge, and the right skills across the board. And Guy, that's where you and I saw the biggest opportunity in the tools space, you know, in creating simple solutions that help people accomplish certain things. I hear a lot all the time, this is a digital business card tool. And in a way that's true. But what we want to stop focusing on is the features and the functions and start focusing on the results of what it does. A digital business card is just a way to help you connect with others. So Shuffle isn't just a digital business card tool. It's a way to help you connect with others, right? How do you share or connect with others? You've got a lot of different choices. You could hand them a little piece of paper with your name, phone number, email address, website on it. And as we've heard before, 90% of the time, that's going to go in the garbage, right? It's going to sit on somebody's desk. So all we're looking at is how do we leverage elements that are a incremental or even drastic improvement on the alternative. Sure, you can go out and get a regular business card. You can get it embossed, gold lettering, do all of that type of stuff. But you have to realize, and again, most of what Guy and I focus on is data driven. You have to realize you've got to hand out 2,000 plus business cards, physical business cards, to see a 2% uptick in your business. Now, I will tell you right now, just from personal experience on connecting with people using a digital business card that I built on Shuffle, right, to introduce myself in a different way, I have to share out a lot less than 2,000 cards in order to create a relationship, in order to start working that relationship, etc. Guy, you mentioned your dad's brains, right? That little black book he always kept in that chest pocket that had all of the information. We know this, guys. Your network is your net worth. That was Guy's dad's network right there in the analog age, in his pocket, fully accessible at any time. No different than this mobile device that we all have in our pocket that is essentially a supercomputer. This is our brains. We can put all of our information in it and we can start our network. Again, how do you foster relationships? Yes, Shuffle has relationship management tools in it, but it's really about helping us build better relationships. So when we talk about these things, that's what we're focusing on. We're focusing on the ways we introduce ourselves to other people, the way we foster better relationships, the way we market ourselves, our brand, our business, our product, our service, both offline and online by using landing pages, right? These digital ads that work for us 24/7 like little billboards, right? We talk about the way we share information or how people connect with our information. We communicate in all different ways in our society, and I think it's so awesome, right? But with that comes lots of noise, and yet you want to be able to communicate out. Remember when it just used to be a letter, snail mail? There wasn't much else than that. Then came, a phone call. Okay, I could talk to people, Now there's so many different ways to communicate. You've got instant messaging, you've got QR codes, you've got airdropping to people, you've got NFC, you've got the radio, you've got the television, you've got the internet. And now all of that's bombarding us at every angle. And the reality is if you're not leveraging those things, you're missing out. There's an opportunity cost that comes along with that. And so we want everybody to be able to participate in that, leveraging Elify solutions and do it in a way that's cost effective for 99% of businesses out there. That's really our passion, because I've been an entrepreneur and a business owner my entire life. I've started multiple businesses. I've sold businesses. I think it's the best path to financial freedom. So this is one of the reasons why Guy and I started Elify. It was to support small business success. It was to support the success of entrepreneurs, work-at-home professionals, direct sellers, network marketers, and everything along that entire spectrum. Because the reality is, most time when we start a business, whether we're self-employed or we're creating a new business, we wear every single hat in our business, right? Guy, you and I joke, we say we're the CEO and the trash man at the same time. And that's the reality of most businesses. You look at, there are hundreds of millions of businesses registered, 30 million in the United States. And most of those businesses, a majority, are fewer than 5 employees. Think about that. They're doing everything in their business, and they need tools just like everybody else to support that. So that's really the focus behind Elify. And we're looking at the competitive landscape and the cutting edge technology and saying, wow, that's novel, that's unique, that could be a benefit. We need to make that available to everybody else. I think the other thing that gets overlooked about Elify, Guy, and it's starting to come to light in recent months, is that there's an entire community within Elify. It's not just the technology and the tools that you get with Shuffle and that you get with Tap. It's the Tech Tuesday at 2 training where I get to see familiar faces and we talk about using the tools and all these different applications. And every single time, I'm the founder of the company, guys, right? Every single time I'm on Tuesday, I hear about a new and novel way that somebody is using a landing page to support their business, or setting a follow-up, or integrating with another tool. That's so powerful and encouraging to me about the power of technology in today's business environment. The same thing when we connect as a community on the roundtable discussions, and we collaborate with each other and we provide tips and tricks. That's not something you get when you just buy a software off the shelf, because at the end of the day, this just isn't about technology. It's about this abundance mentality where we as a community get together, work together. We are all working on different things. We all have different goals. We all have different ventures. And yet there's a camaraderie that comes together in this community that wants to see every single person be as successful as they want to be. So I don't want people to miss out on all of that if they're just learning about Elify. In fact, all of that's part of the bigger picture. Now, I see, Anna, that you've got your hand up. So welcome to the conversation and to Friday with the Founders. Go on ahead. I look forward to speaking with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Looking good. Little trim goes a long way. I told Guy I'd be nocturnal in Arizona right now. That's right. Scary. I wanted to say that this is one of the few organizations that I feel absolutely comfortable sending people who barely know me to go to, Tuesdays Tech or Friday with the Founders, that kind of thing, and just have them meet the people to see us working together, because that atmosphere is so clear and so wonderful. But I wanted to tell you a little story. I was down in Greeley and I visited a bar I had never been into before. I just wanted to pick up some fish and chips, and theirs is the best, So I, instead of driving through, I went in with my daughter and we had a drink, and I was talking to the bartender and I said, well, do you guys have a way that we can automatically do reviews or send you tips or whatever? And she goes, no. And I said, well, here, let me share my card with you and you can create something and take a look at what we do. And she handed me an iPhone and I tapped the top of it and she was like, what? What? And I showed her the card and she goes, oh, that QR code thing is it's the way of the future. And I laughed, no, it's not the way of the future. It's here and now. So I'm following up with her this weekend on Sunday night, because she doesn't work Sunday night. Yeah. But how fun, this is a woman in her probably early 40s, and QR code is way of the future. But just to share something and see those eyes light up, it's crazy. I love it.
I love that story, Anna. I so love it, because that's the type of reaction when you create magic for the people you're interacting with. And right now in this day and age, as we're seeing technology scale up and more people adopt it, you guys are the lucky few. You're the early adopters. You're seeing that the future is now and that it can be implemented and that it's accessible to everybody.
It's especially hilarious because they look at me again to check my age. How do I know the newest in technology, right?
And I think that's the other thing, right? This is accessible to everybody. I come across people who are 18 years old on our platform to people who are like 85 on our platform, guys. And that's a huge spectrum. And when you can make things accessible like that, it's really powerful. And that's a funny, Anna, that you say that, right? Like, hey, you're not a coder, you know what I mean? You're not a technical engineer, a designer, any of that type of stuff. And the fact that you can easily put that together and share it with somebody else and create that magic, and then they're doing that double take, like, hey, shouldn't this be coming from some like 20-something Silicon Valley type person? I mean, that's a big thing that says, no, this is accessible to everybody. The one thing I would share, and Anna, keep note of this, is this and learning this technology. And again, it's not a mountain to overcome using this technology. There's a simple learning curve that comes along, but with any technology, there's a learning curve. But you're developing a high value skill here. Don't lose sight of that. Once you understand how to build a landing page on Shuffle, it doesn't matter if that landing page becomes a digital business card, a product overview. In a little bit, we're going to talk about landing pages I literally created this morning because we need your help and feedback on some stuff. Once you learn that skill, you can even offer that skill to other people, not just here's a solution where you can do it yourself, because this is what the platform is built. It is definitely a DIY platform if you want to do it, but we have plenty of users on this platform who do it for other people, who do done for you service for other people, where they get those big eyes when they tap that card and the person says, oh my gosh, how did you do that? And then you turn around and you said, I did it with Elify. And if you'd like, I can help you do it for your business, do it for yourself. And you've got two paths to go down. I love to offer people some options, right? Personalization is key. And so I say, do you want option one where you can sign up for the platform and for a nominal fee, you can do it yourself, build anything you want. You just have to learn how to use it. Some people, that's the perfect fit. Maybe the price is the way why that's a perfect fit. For other people, their business is very focused. And they're like, I don't really want to learn a new technology or build anything or spend any other time focused on the other items instead of what I'm focusing on. And so why don't you do it for me? So as a little tip out there, I know people who are making over $100 for each landing page that they're creating for other people. Now, we don't allow you to build that through the Shuffle subscription, but they're sending out their card and they're saying, hey, here's my Venmo link, or here's my PayPal link, or here's my other link. And you can go ahead and link it. Not unlike Anna, you were talking about, where it's like, hey, here's a virtual tip jar. You want to scan this and send a little payment, all of that type of stuff. That's where the power of this technology comes in. So Anna, back to you.
Real quickly. Oh gosh, I'm writing down virtual tip jar. If you are, and this is just a suggestion, but if you are a do-it-for-you person and you provide that service, can you put that in the chat when you share your card? Put DIFU or DIFY, whatever, so that we can start identifying those people, because I'm not on here often enough to know.
Yeah, and if you are somebody like that, what I'd love to have you do is come on and join us for one of those Thursday roundtable discussions and sort of speak to that, right? Hey, here's what I'm doing, here's how often I'm doing it, and here's what I'm making doing it. Because again, we're going to talk about the affiliate program a little later on, where you can get paid just for sharing and telling other people about Shuffle. But I think there's a whole different avenue for business here for anybody who wants to adopt the skill set and create an additional side hustle, going out building landing pages for other business owners, because there's such a need for that. And sometimes I see the pages that people build DIY, and I would hope that they would spend a little bit of additional time in going in and optimizing their page. And we understand that there's a learning curve on all of that, but a little bit of effort and a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of skill development goes a long way. And I think, Anna, you'd be a testament to that. You didn't have to spend years going to school learning how to use Shuffle. You didn't have to become a programmer or a designer to learn how to use Shuffle. You played around with the technology, I'm assuming, and you can obviously correct me if I'm wrong, but you played around with the technology, you built a few cards, you edited a few cards, and you just stuck with it. And over time, one day it just clicked, and now here you are, and you're building cards and showing people and wowing and amazing the people you're interacting with. That's a powerful testimonial.
Definitely works for me. And it's like anything else. You do it at your own pace. If you're competitive, go for it, go hard. But sure. in my little market, I'm dealing with business owners, and I'm helping them find business tools that can affect their business in a big way, but not at a big price. And This is such an easy way in the door for me. So I totally appreciate it.
And look, we appreciate you, because we learned so much about that. I think it was one day somebody who was a user said, hey, Yar, did you know I'm doing this? And I'm like, oh, wow, that's awesome. And again, from our perspective with Elify, it's all about supporting the success of the entrepreneur and the business owner, right? And so one of those ways is by providing tools. The other way is by providing opportunities, and they might not be just our affiliate opportunity. It's other opportunities to go out and create a venture that's going to best serve, your local environment, your national environment. We've got people who, they're online. Somebody like Anna. Anna, you're in a smaller town, right?
Oh yeah, 1,500 people.
And yet with the power of the internet, guys, you have to realize this. Like, I've been doing this for over 2 decades. Anna and I are now able to connect. Yes, we live in the same state, but there's probably a few hours worth of driving if we actually wanted to meet up with each other. If I look at the people who are on this call right now, right, we're dispersed all over. And the benefit of this, guys, I'm a testament to this. If you go back and look at all of the videos, you will realize I've not had to leave my personal office to be in business. Think about that. If 20 years ago, you would have discovered the same thing that I discovered, that there was a better way, that you could be a digital entrepreneur, that you could have location freedom. I mean, here's a good example. Guy, you are melting right now in Arizona. I know the only one comparable on this call might be Shelly at 110 degrees in Vegas. And you're doing work right now. You're plugging in, and you have that freedom to plug in and plug out. And therefore you can schedule it and prioritize it within your time frame. Like, that didn't exist 50 years ago. Now a majority of the population has gotten wind of this stuff because we had a pandemic and everybody realized that they could work from home for a little bit. And we're watching the repercussions of this happen in real time, where people are saying, maybe I don't want to go back to the office.
To a job.
Yeah, maybe I don't want to have a commute. Maybe I want to join the new workforce, right? We saw the Great Resignation. Guy, you and I have had some amazing conversations with individuals who are the same type of thought leaders as we are, thinking about what is the future of business, of employment, of contract labor, of affiliate marketing look like, because I truly see it as a world where people have multiple streams of side hustle income. They might have a primary or 3 primaries, but they're aggregating all these cash flows together to cover whatever cost they have. Guy, something to add there?
I'll just add to this. Driving from Phoenix to Sedona yesterday, our oldest niece rode with us. She just graduated last year from SMU, and talking about her friends who she accelerated. She got done in 3 years' time. But some of her friends that are just now graduating and trying to figure out what they do, and having the conversations with them. She's letting me know what they're talking about and what they're looking for. A lot of 9-to-5s, big business, don't have those type of departments of what they're looking for. They're looking for to be able to do some freelance type work, some marketing, some PR, some, you name it. That's what a lot of people are coming into these workforces, and especially when we were sort of forced to be a digital work from home these last couple of years. People are more in tuned. They're more inclined to go down those routes or stay in those routes. There's some companies we're starting to see now saying, nope, mandatory coming back to the office. And it is resignations happening. And they're trying to figure out how to get their workforce where it was or comparable. Well, they're going to have to go out and find contract worker, contract labor to be able to do this. And why, again, another element of why we created this is ER and I have always been, and why it's the engineering backgrounds and math, and there's problems, but there's ways to solve them. So we always wanted to be able to bring something that if there's a problem, we want to hear about it. How can we solve that with a solution to make it a triple win, right? A triple win is what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to provide something to somebody that benefits them, benefits their customers, and in turn benefits you. And that's where we're starting to see a lot of people at least opening their ears to those concepts and ideas. ER, you mentioned, if we could have been virtual 20 years ago, if this were the very first thing, very first time people could do it, how many people would want to know about it?
Yeah.
And it'd be spreading the word. And that's where we get the opportunity to say, hey, we feel there's a great opportunity for everyone to be problem solvers with solutions that can have a triple win, and people are just needing to know about it.
I mean, you're so right, Guy. I want to say this quote that I think we've all heard before, and I want to sort of turn it on its head, because the reality is it's not true, right? If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And the reality is of what, Guy, you're talking about is the competitive landscape, and really the landscape around us in general is constantly changing, and it's moving forward and it's changing. So those people who've always done it one way, they're going to realize that way is no longer going to work over time, and they're going to need to make some adjustments. And the reality is, we've heard this study before. I'll have to find the data so I'm not misrepresenting it, but to paraphrase, something like 50%, think about this, 50% of all the jobs that exist today will not exist in the next 10 years. Could you imagine? Like, think about that. Hopefully, if you're in a job right now, I don't know, I'd rather you transition over to being an entrepreneur, but hopefully if you're in a job right now, it still exists 10 years from now if you still need that job. I think that's it. The old saying, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. Heck, it's even expecting the same result if the landscape is changing. And I think we have to be wise to that. We have to look around. We have to be observant of what's happening around us, because I think we get so fixated in our box that we don't realize the world is spinning and it's changing on a daily basis. But if you take a step back and you start opening your eyes to those things, you're really going to be exposed to what's happening, and therefore able to capitalize on the opportunities that exist. And I'll give you, again, another personal real world example of that. Back 20 years ago, now over 20, right? I'm going to date myself. I graduated high school, a class of 2000, one of the higher age groups of the millennials, if you will, And I remember my parents said, go to school, get a good job, work for 40 years with one company, invest into your pension or retirement, and someday when you're 65, 70, you'll get to retire. And I remember when I went to school, and a Guy, you and I, we got to go, thankfully, to the same university under a Division I athletic scholarship. And unfortunately, my dreams were dashed. I had a sports injury. I went from maybe I'm going to play further on in a career, maybe I'm going to make professional athlete type of money, to, hey, what are you going to do? You got to start over, and your dreams are going to be new dreams. It's time to pivot. And I had met up with some friends from high school at a university that I transferred to after my injury in Boulder, Colorado, CU, and they were in technology. And I said to them, and guys, this is my personal story. I said to them, look, guys, what you're doing, I believe, is the future. I will come work for you guys for free, if you teach me what you know. And at that time, they were online marketers doing search engine optimization and search engine marketing with their own ads and their own network, being very successful at it. So I joined that company, and whatever they said, I did. And I learned everything I could because I knew it would be a high value skill. And here's what I realized in the first few months of doing it. We were able to work from our computers, essentially in our dorm rooms, and we would get what we called mailbox money. People would come to our sites, they would check out our links, they would be looking for products they were searching for online, and we would connect those eyeballs with the people selling those products. And by doing so, we would get a commission. Now, a lot has changed in that environment over the last 20 years, but that was the inception of me discovering that there was a different way and possibly even a better way. And for the last 20 years, I've been doing that type of stuff. I had to explain to my parents that I was going to make money on this thing called the internet right around the time we had a .com boom and then a bust bubble bursting. And they're sitting there going, no, just be an architect, just be a lawyer, just be a doctor. That's the way to do it. Guys, there's a different way. It's not perfect. You have to learn things. You have to do things. The landscape is competitive, but it's better. It's totally better. I've had the time freedom, the location freedom, and the financial freedom to do this and have a family, live where I want to live, all of those types of things. So that's really what we're talking about when we talk about Elify. Jeff, you've got your hand up. Welcome to the conversation. Go ahead, my friend. Yeah, and you're muted. You're muted. You there? Did we lose Jeff?
Go. I have to thank Dana because again, I didn't even know how to do the little hand raise thing in the reaction. So I'm playing with it. So for those of you that didn't know that, welcome to the world of cluelessness in tech. So the nice thing is that no matter, even if we maybe are advanced in one area, we can be totally clueless in another. It's just like when I had a brick and mortar business, I had a Facebook business page, right? This is going to be a while back, but I had a healthy vending business, right? Where I put the machines and people would come and buy their healthy snacks in the schools and stuff. But I tried to set up a Facebook business page, and the Chamber of Commerce gal made fun of me. Maybe I've shared this story with you before. So I was about as clueless when it came to tech, but I always, since I was 18 years old, wanted to be an entrepreneur. But I wanted to play tennis. And so, and now here I am, at this stage of my life, getting to, do both and volunteer. And I'm at a little further down the path than you are, ER. But yeah, I can live the freedom lifestyle and stuff. And it isn't, I was thinking about this the other day. It isn't just because these online gurus come on. You guys don't get intimidated by those guys. I've had to really train myself to stop looking at the real top guys, and then they tell you all their results and show you their screenshots. It is freaking intimidating. And you have to stop and think, ask yourself, and I'm doing this right now. I'm up to 10 parts of an offer right now, between the core offer, the additional offer, and the bonuses, because that's what I want. If I can share a piece of advice, and I've stressed offer to you guys over and over again, think about, because as I look at all of you on the call today, you all offer a different product or service or multiple services, because I've seen your cards with the 20 buttons on them, everything from crypto to an MLM, and that's great. I mean, if whatever floats your boat, right? But what you got to make sure is inside of each thing, and the ER, this just tags right on what you were saying, inside of each thing that you do, whatever your business model is, ask yourself, what do I offer to give my ideal customer or client the result they want, right? And I started to think, and they can't be random things, right? They have to be, they have to sort of pair and match, and build on each other. And so as I built these 10 pieces of my offer, which I'm not going to disclose here, but I want to make sure, instead of just one thing, my subscribers are going to get 10 things, right? Including all the bonuses. And I tell you what, my brain for the past year, I've added and added and added. And it can be anything from adding them to a Facebook group that you're going to be in charge of and help hold their hand. It could be a consultation. It could be and whatever. I mean, you guys got to be creative with creating a little PDF or a cheat sheet or whatever, and a video, and add those to your list. And so when you get somebody who, let's say you want to build your Elify shuffle business, and again, this is going to be part of our master plan, but I'll have a whole thing set up on how we're going to integrate Elify shuffle into what I'm doing in a big way. But it's not my core offer, you see, because I'm a CEO now of a different company, but Elify is so critical. It's a tool, right? Think about your businesses, you guys. Elify is the tool, just like your phone. So what I'm going to do is create landing pages for different audiences. And I almost call them ER guy. They're landing pages, but they're like I'm working on a landing page right now, and I'm modeling. So if you guys are like, oh, I don't know how to do a page, I don't know how to make it look good, don't try to do it yourself. Go find somebody's it's called modeling or mirroring. I came across another top guru who I really like, and he said he uses a mirroring. It's the same thing, you guys. It's just model, like you go to Pinterest or whatever, find something that looks cool. And so I have a landing page pulled up. Right next to it is my software opened up, and I'm clicking back and forth. And you guys, I am being as meticulous as the font, the spacing, is it centered or is it left, right? And I'm creating this massive landing page. I'm telling my story inside of that, which is freaking hard. Trust me, because you got to give all the failures and the emotional, stuff inside of you if you want to sell. And so that's part of the Epiphany Bridge. So what I want to try to tell you on this whole landing page thing, you got to have an offer, but then your landing page, just go find another Elify card or a website or anything. You can make your Elify card, you guys, now with the new builder, you can make them look just like a website, a funnel, or whatever. You don't need to go out and spend hundreds of dollars and thousands like I do on some of these other software platforms that I won't mention. But Elify allows me to have a landing or bridge page. I call it almost like the pre-landing page, where just is enough. See, the problem I see ER and Guy with a lot of people, they put too much. Give the image, the headline, right? The hook, a little bit of bullets and an image, and that's about it. From there, click the button and then take them where you want them to go. Now, if you don't have another page or a landing page or a website or a company page, then you maybe need to do a little bit more. So I'll shut up now, but is this kind of helping everybody? Don't try to be the mastermind. Copy, when I say copy, not word for word, model, mimic, and make it your own. I mean, it's my colors, my fonts, my everything, but I tell you what, I'm following one of the top marketers on the entire planet right now, and his page, Belcher is a great copywriter. I'm looking at his landing page and I'm plucking out what I like about it in terms of dimension, space, and font and presentation. Does that make sense?
I love it. I love it, Jeff. Here's the reality, guys. Success leaves clues. I don't care if you call it mirroring, if you call it benchmarking, if you call it copying, if you call it stealing. Obviously, there's copyright rules and things like that. You don't want to be verbatim out there, but success leaves clues on anything you want to accomplish in your entire life, whether it's digital technology and building landing pages, or whether it's a health and wellness program. If you mirror the people who are successful, you will see similar results. You won't see the exact results unless you're doing it exactly the same, but success leaves clues. So let's look around. Here's the reality. There's a lot of gurus out there, okay? You can go around and find gurus. If you look long enough and hard enough, what you're gonna see is actually the pattern. That's when you look past the person who's sitting back there and saying like, here's the check that I just made last month, or check out this amazing house, or I'm joining you from the beach in Tahiti, or there's my Ferrari in the background. Guys, we don't need to sit here on Elify and snap and wave checks to you guys, because that's not what we're in it. I'm not trying to sell you the pipe dream that you're going to build one website that makes you $1 million a month. Here's the reality. And again, Guy and I are numbers-based guys. Think about this. 1%. If you want to be in the top 1% of income earners in the entire world, do you know what that number is? It's actually only $550,000 a year. Some of us would think millions and millions and millions. And yes, there are the 0.1%, the 0.0001%, the billionaires of the world. But the reality is 99.99% of people, they want to get their bills paid, right? They don't want to worry about an unexpected $500 expense, right? They don't want to look at the grocery prices when they're filling up their cart. They don't want to work 100 hours a week, because they'd much rather spend that short amount of time that they have called life doing the things they enjoy with the people they enjoy doing them with. That's our message to everybody. You don't have to even be in the top 1% to be successful, Think about what your life by design is, and there's a quantifiable number that you can make the objective of your business to reach. In my mind, the quickest path to what I would consider retirement, or the ability to do what you want, when you want, where you want, right? Time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, is just to generate passive income flows that are equivalent to your outflow, right? The old saying, if your income or if your outflow is greater than your income, then your excess will be your downfall. That's the equation. All we have to do is look at that. And if you've got two dials, the income and the outflow that you get to work with, it's as simple as that. And we're looking for strategies that are going to allow us to adjust both ends of that dial, independent of what we're doing. That's why Guy and I are providing these types of tools. So look, I'm going to stand here and say, I'm not your guru, but I can help be your guide. I'm not looking to be a guru. I don't want to be on stage, guys. I don't want to travel 300 days of the year talking to large audiences. I feel a lot more comfortable, safe, and secure in my little bubble here, where when I turn off this computer and close this screen, I get to go spend time with my family and spend time where I live and all of those types of things. That's really what my life by design looks like. If yours is something different, great, go pursue that. We want to support you in that. Now, Anna, I see your hand back up. Go ahead, join the conversation. Well, you're in the conversation now.
Well, here I go again. Thanks for bringing that back around. I want to talk a little bit about the residual income.
Yeah.
We're talking, here I am in this little town of Wiggins, 1,500 people. And I've been doing business across the United States for a long time. But when COVID came and it was all on Zoom, that was incredible. Yeah. Because I could reach so many more people. Yeah. And so I was very excited about that. But it puts me back to remembering that, 20 years ago or 17 years ago, I started a little side hustle. I was working full-time for my husband's business. I had a child, full-time in dance. I mean, I had so much going on with the church. And so I started this little side hustle. And a couple of years later, my husband started his own because it had to do with health, and that was his buddies. And so he started his own side hustle. Well, about 8 years ago, he passed away. Suddenly, out of the blue, I'm alone. Mm-hmm. And his entire income was no longer there. Mm-hmm. But guess what? We built these little side hustles on residual income. And I didn't have to go to work for Walmart. The bills were paid. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to be old. You don't have to be in your 60s to understand the value of the fact if someone passes away, mm-hmm. it affects your entire life. And a residual income softens the pain. It eases the worries and the stress. Mm-hmm. And whatever you do, however you do it, build your side hustles. Because of Zoom and, online technologies, right now I'm currently running 4 businesses. I'm running them from here, and they're not all online businesses, but I'm running them. And so, it's pretty exciting to me that I have that many sources of income coming into the household, and that I'm going to be able to pass on to my children and my grandchildren. Don't underestimate the power of it. And the free digital business card, honey, we talk about funnels. The way to get people into your funnel is to give them something for free. And here you have this free gift that almost everybody needs.
Anna, thank you very much for sharing that. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry for your loss, and this is the first time I'm hearing that, and I'm so glad to hear that you had a residual income to support you. All too often we hear stories just like that, where somebody has a tragedy, somebody becomes sick. I mean, think about people with COVID over the last few years, where all of a sudden this pandemic happens, and then your spouse is in the hospital, and then 3 days later they're no longer with you, and you didn't even get to say goodbye. Some of these types of things, you break a leg and you're no longer going out there and laboring or doing things that you would traditionally do to generate income. I think that is one of the guiding lights and principles behind why we are doing what we're doing here at Elify and why we created the affiliate program. I have a master's in business with a focus on entrepreneurship. And one of the things that I tend to muse on regularly is creating the perfect business. In our minds, what would the perfect business look like? Okay, and I'm going to talk about a few things, right? We could sell a product or we could provide a service. I'm a big fan of software as a service. Think about this. There's no hardware, there's no manufacturing, there's no raw materials, there's no shipping. It's accessible from anywhere in the world. Developing and designing the perfect business. You want it to be consumable. I'll tell you, one of the first businesses I was in, it was like the ebook business. Somebody buys an ebook from you. Do you think they're going to come back and buy the same how-to ebook from you the next month? No, they've got the ebook already. So something that's going to be consumable. I always use that Gillette quote. It was the CEO of Gillette that said, there's something amazing waking up each morning, realizing that half the population is going to shave their legs, the other half is going to shave their face. and in a few days, they're all going to need a new razor. Let's think about this, consumable, you want a consumable product. Residual, you brought up the residual thing. If we're looking at opportunities, we want to do the work one time and we want to get paid for it over and over and over again. The moment I realized that concept was the moment I had regret for all of the time I had spent doing things that I got paid for one time. Because I realized that there's a model out there where you do the work once. Maybe let's even say it was double the effort up front, but instead of getting paid one time, you got paid over and over and over and over again. Think about an actor, or think about a musician, where they play the song one time, it gets recorded, and then every time that song or that movie is played, they get what you would consider like a royalty off of that. That's a good example of passive residual income. It's residual, it keeps coming in, it's passive, you're not actively doing anything for it. Guys, these are big components in what you would consider the perfect business. Now, nothing's ever perfect, right? But there are things that are better. Likewise, a big component of the perfect business, and this is why a lot of big corporations are successful in scale, it's called leverage. Leverage. If we look at the traditional business organization, and it's funny because you can draw the diagram on the board and people think you're talking about network marketing or multi-level marketing, right? The triangle or the pyramid. Guys, that's the hierarchical structure of all businesses that have employees. They've got a big foundation of employees doing a lot of work. They've got an extra foundation of management, executive team, owners at the very pinnacle of it, and cash moves through that business. If you're an employee, I will tell you right now, you are not getting paid what you are producing for the company. Companies wouldn't survive if they paid you 100% of what you generated. They pay you a margin. In most cases, it's a fraction of what your skill or your value for that company is doing for that company. Okay? As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, I get to keep 100% of what I produce, guys. This is the beauty. I'm not having to share with a lot of other people. And even in the models we're going to talk about, especially the Elify affiliate model, not only do you get paid on your direct efforts, you get to leverage other people's efforts. You get that leverage component. And with both of those things being residual, this is a self-paced business with very low startup cost. Okay, think about that. You've got a few paths you can take when you start a business. I've started multiple businesses. I'll tell you, as an entrepreneur, and Jeff, you talked about wanting to be a professional athlete or an athlete and an entrepreneur, and now you're getting to live that dream. Having been an athlete and now a coach and being an entrepreneur. Guys, my first foray into entrepreneurship, it was the mowing the lawns and shoveling the snow here in Colorado and going around door to door in the neighborhood getting clients. It was as simple as that, right? Had a little flyer, went and posted on everybody's door. And then my dad, as an entrepreneur, taught me some skills. And he said, you should build contracts in with your clients. If it snows more than 2 inches, you automatically shovel their snow. You don't have to go and knock every time it snows. You just go to your clients and do the business. Guys, I sold beef jerky in high school, just had a backpack full of beef jerky, just selling it out to people at the lunchroom who would come and buy beef jerky from me. That was an entrepreneurial venture. I remember when I got called into the teacher's office, I thought, oh my gosh, my world had ended. He said, ER, do you have something to tell me? I said, no, I heard from some of the other students you're selling things on campus. I'm denying it like every young kid does, telling those fibs and things like that. He goes, yeah, I heard you got beef jerky for sale. And I said, oh, great. Here I am going to get suspended or expelled from school. And he reaches into his wallet and he pulls out a $5 bill and he goes, if you got the beef jerky, then I want some. And he bought beef jerky from, again, validation of an entrepreneur. We cycle through these things until we find something that fits and that works for us. I've owned a nutraceutical company, sold supplements to people worldwide, guys. There are paths that you can take to start a business. You can start a business from scratch. The process, the system, the product, the service, you create it all. I love that. There's something amazing about pouring yourself into starting a business. But here's the reality. It is hard as heck. And 80% of businesses are going to fail in the first few years. 20% of the 20% or 80% of the 20% that succeed are going to fail in the next few years. It's hard to start a business. What's your next option? You can buy into a proven business model. In most cases, we call that franchising, right? A business exists. They've got a process, a system, a plan, a bunch of papers that you follow. You go to quote unquote hamburger university and you learn how to flip them and the time and everything like that. And you can dive into a business that already exists in a model that you can follow. Downside to that, a lot of upfront cost. I mean, to buy a Mickey D's franchise, what is it now? It's now in the 7 figures. So unless you've got that set aside, you're going into debt to start your business. Guys, there's a better way. When we first started, Guy, we saw a lot in direct sales, network marketing, multi-level marketing, right? Has the leverage, in some cases has the residual, all of that type of stuff. I think that that's an awesome way for entrepreneurs to get started in business, to learn the ropes, to cut their teeth, as they say. It's great, but you have to be aware of the model. You have to understand the model. Sometimes I feel like there's a challenge in comprehending how you make money in your business. Guys, you got to realize that, because your business is a machine and you want to understand how your machine operates. You want to turn those dials and crank those screws till you get it dialed all the way in. That's when I stumbled upon affiliate marketing 20 years ago, right? And I was blown away. You're telling me that I can share information over this thing they call the interweb. And if people see that information and take an action and purchase something, you're going to give me a cut of this? Sign me up. Why? Little to no upfront capital investment. I just needed to sign up and get my links generated. Once I had those links, it was up to me to drive the eyeballs. Once I drove the eyeballs, I got to keep a slice of everything I produced. When I started out, it wasn't residual. It was one time for one sale. In fact, even on some of the residual or consumable products, I still only got paid for the first purchase. That's what's so powerful here is you do the work once, you're going to get paid over and over and over again. You essentially get paid for sharing. I love what Anna, you were talking about, where even if you go out and share something for free, here's the reality in this program. A day later, a week later, a month later, a year later, if that person goes from free to something paid, it turns on another drip for you where money starts coming in. And each and every month you're going to get paid.
I've heard from people as much as 7 years later.
I'm still amazed that some of my landing pages, I get alert traffic that they're still getting eyeballs to them. Think about this, guys. The internet allows you ever hear that back in the day where they're like, it does work while you're sleeping? It literally does. These pages are live up all the time. It's like having a digital billboard where cars are driving by, as long as you're putting it on a route where cars drive by. So be aware of that. And what I'm going to do in closing here in these last few minutes, and Guy, I think you got a jump. So if you do, thank you for joining. Enjoy the rest of your time in Arizona, and don't melt, my friend. I need you back here in one piece.
There are just a few things. I did share that link. You know, I just did a quick search on the aspect, and you had mentioned it. Shelly, you put it down. The word is pivot. Pivot is so big to be able to bring that in. Anna, you had to pivot, but you had residual able to come. We're seeing technology is stepping in and taking over so much of the workforce. Jeff, you probably are seeing it happening in tennis with Eagle Eye. Eagle Eye might get rid of a lot of reps within tennis. ER and I, just to give you a little bit more background on technology, many years ago, we had a room full of individuals and said, hey, here's a new technology that we want to think about bringing. And it was for football. And it was putting a microchip in a football. So you could understand, you don't have to take a chain out there anymore, you know, two sticks with chain links to go measure to see if it's a first down, or have to do instant replay to see if the ball went over or touched the goal line for a touchdown. A microchip would essentially let you know where that ball is perfectly placed on the field. Well, we had the room, we were going to do it, got down to it, only a handful wanted to continue to do it. It sort of fizzled out. I got an email actually from one of the guys a few months ago, because one of the new things that they're working into the NFL is a new technology of a chip in the football, so they'll be able to do this. And it's like, we should have just continued moving forward with that. But also knowing that probably the biggest workforce in the United States is truck drivers. Mm-hmm. And knowing that automation, it's starting to happen. The first automated truck to drive from Fort Collins to Colorado Springs happened 2 years ago, and people didn't even know it happened. And it was a test to see if it could happen. And it sure did. Those are types of things that we're going to see pivoting into businesses that those people are going to have to pivot to figure out, how am I going to pay my $500 bill? So with that, I'm going to step out. You wrap up. I know he also wants to share some things with you, and looking forward to see the results of those. But everyone have a great weekend. I won't melt, and I'll see you on Monday morning.
See you, buddy. Have a good one. And guys, that's the reality, right? The world is going to pivot around us. And if we're not prepared for it, we're going to be left holding the bag. I don't want you to wake up one day and the world has changed and you're trying to figure out how to pay your bills or live your life. Instead, you're better off setting up a mechanism, a machine, a program, a system, a business that's going to produce a residual income for you. My hope for you is that you would do that multiple times over, much like some of the people on this call already have, so that you're generating enough business that you don't have to worry about it. Guys, I don't really worry about it if I have to take a week off because the kids are sick, or I have to cut out an extra day. There's no boss over me saying, hey, this work has to get done. Now, obviously, I'm committed to you guys, and this is the reason why. This community is why I come on these calls and I do what I do, is because I'm so passionate and I want to see every one of you be successful. So with that being said, I'm going to jump over real quick. I mean, this is the quick and dirty on the affiliate side. I'm only showing you one slide, and I'm on the affiliate page of the website, elifyshuffle.com/affiliate. You'll notice at the end, I even have my little affiliate link on here. All you have to do is put your link on there, and you can get credit for anybody you send to this type of stuff. Here's the reality. You're going to get 10% on everybody you directly refer to Elify, whether they're buying Shuffle, whether they're buying Tap, does not matter. It's 10%. If it's a recurring charge, you're going to get 10% residually for the life of the customer. That's everybody you directly refer with absolutely no limit. You want to refer one person? Great. You want to refer 100,000 people? Excellent. We are here to support you independent of the number of people you want to refer. 10% directly for all of those referrals. Next, some of those customers are going to go out there and use Shuffle. And like Anna was talking about, they'll be tapping somebody's phone and that person's going to go, what? How did you do that? And they'll say, oh, I signed up and I'm a customer for the Shuffle thing. And that person's going to go on and follow through the card and end up signing up. Doesn't matter. Those are your network referrals. You're going to get 8% residually on all of your network referrals. That's every sale that comes in from the 2nd degree of separation through 6 degrees of separation. Okay. In addition, we understand how important this thing called leverage is. So we extend it on based on your individual performance, nothing else. So if you directly refer 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, or if you want to max it all out, write the number 40 down. Think about, how am I going to go out and refer 40 active direct referrals in my business? That will unlock all 10 levels and you'll earn 1% on level 7, 8, 9, and 10. Again, it doesn't get more complex than this. There's no volume requirements. There's no rank requirements or anything like that we hear with some of the other opportunities. There's no hieroglyphics I need to get on a whiteboard and show you guys that nobody's going to understand. This is the program. 10% on all your direct, 8% on all your network referrals, 1% if you need to or want to extend your leverage. As simple as that. How do you get started? If you're already in Shuffle, you go over to affiliate.elify.com and you answer 3 questions to activate your affiliate status. You'll be provided a little invite code link. On any URL, you can put / your code link and share it out to somebody. Again, whether you're giving out free cards or whether you're sending people to the Shuffle website or to the Tap website, you want to include your affiliate link so that you get direct referrals and get credit for those direct referrals so that you can get paid over and over and over again. Now, with that being said, I've got an ask for everybody on this call and maybe for your surrounding members. I have this morning, Guy talked about it. If you learn these skills, you can put stuff together fairly quickly. I spent a little less than an hour this morning throwing some stuff together. I'm going to throw it in the chat. This is the link we've created, and I'm going to share my screen right now. We created some new sign-up forms for the Shuffle. This will be tied to the free business card account, right? So elevate your business, simplify your life. You're going to see this image that is the mobile landing page. It's a little form. Okay, and all I'm looking for is for you guys to review the design and complete and submit a brief survey. I built this on the Shuffle platform, so it's a Shuffle landing page. I've done one of the skills, which is create a campaign so that there's some questions that you can ask. And I've even done one step further that we've learned from Kathy on Tech Tuesday at 2. I've linked it to other pages. So here's design number 2 on a second page. And here's design number 3 on a third page, all linked together, all opening up in the same form. This is like a little micro website that I just put together this morning just to get your guys' feedback. So we want you guys to take a look at these pages. I have provided the link in the chat. I've also posted the link to these pages on the Facebook groups. And what we want to do is get your guys' input and direction on the design you like the most. They all will function the exact same way. And really what we want you to look at is that look and the feel of these 3 designs. So if you take an opportunity at some time in the foreseeable future and spend maybe 2 or 3 minutes checking that out and providing it, if you are filling out the survey, please realize you'll fill out 3 separate surveys, one for each of the designs. And then we'll use that information to influence and inform us on the direction that we'll go. And if this works out, we'll be reaching out to the community on future things and ideas so that you guys can have input in the direction that we take these landing pages, the design, etc. So again, with that being said, there are 3 pages. You'll see the design 1 of 3 up there as you click through, and please take an opportunity to fill out those 3 forms. I would really appreciate it, guys. It'll help us, and I think it'll help the community as well.
That's nice, ER.
Yeah, thank you. I learned how to use this little tool called Shuffle, let me spin these pages up pretty quick, and now I'm getting insight that I would have had to use like SurveyMonkey or some other tool to do. So a bit biased here, but a pretty powerful tool. Dana, you've got your hand up. Go ahead, my friend.
I just wanted to inform everybody that the Zoom platform, if you're using the Zoom platform, that they're only going to give you 40 minutes to have your conferences for now on the free version. Mm-hmm. But if you want to get the paid version, right, as of today, after today, it'll be $149 a year. Or if you get it today, then it'll be only $89 for the year.
Cool.
So that's only to new members that want to upgrade to the pro status.
Very cool.
Or you can keep using the 40 minutes that they give you for the free status, for the free account.
Well, and Dana, I think this brings up a good point. There are lots of great tools out there. We've talked about it. Zoom has a free version. We've got a free version of Shuffle, guys. It has one card using one template, provides the user with one link, doesn't have the relationship management tools, but it's completely free. If you're an entrepreneur just getting started, my recommendation is to start building your toolbox of different tools and look around. There's a lot of free stuff out there. If you start hitting the limitations on those tools, think about investing in your business by purchasing those tools. Now, I'm not a CPA, but I would bet that a lot of the tools that we're using in our business are write-offs on our taxes. That's another benefit to being a business owner. I don't know if you use the internet, even in your home, if you use a home office, if you use those types of things, there's some pretty big benefits that come along with being a business owner. In fact, we hear it on the news all the time. Why is this guy who owns a business paying less taxes than me as an employee? There's a reason. It's called the US tax code, and you can use it to your advantage. So you might want to look into that. Yeah, Anna, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Well, you know me, small business. I love it. I have a passion for it. I've been dealing with small business for 35 years. And I'm an SBA award winner. When you're talking about the tools that are available, don't hesitate to reach out, because my consulting business is all about finding, we all want big business tools, but we can't hire those people. We can't buy that equipment. We can't afford the software. But guess what? There are many, many, many options. Last year, I was introduced to a service that literally took me from nearly $300 a month in subscription fees down to $37 a month. And I have 10 times as much capability, and it's all integrated. So there are options out there. And if you're looking for something, give me a holler. That's what I do. I research and study and find solutions for small business pain points.
Love it. If you haven't already, guys, there is the chat in Zoom. Feel free to throw your digital business card in there so we can all network and connect. There's a lot of great relationships, and I've met a bunch of amazing people just within this community. Now, Shelly, I saw your hand go up real quick and then it went down. I don't know if you still have something to add to the conversation. You're welcome to join. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up. I know we're a little bit over on our time. Shelly, did you have anything to add?
I like design one. Nice job.
Good. Awesome.
I'm already rating it right now.
Rate those designs and let us know, everybody. I really appreciate you guys for coming on and for spending a little bit of time with us on Friday. As I mentioned at the beginning of this call, we do 4 calls a week. Obviously, we connect with others outside of those calls, but we do 4 free public calls a week. We don't charge for these calls, and yet we think they're very informative. The first one is on Mondays. So I'm going to encourage you this weekend to will, skill, and refill. That's an opportunity to will. Think about where you want to go and why you want to get there. Skill, make sure you have the skills, the knowledge, and the tools to get there. And refill, don't forget to remind yourself on what you're doing. If you never take an opportunity to look back on why you're doing what you're doing or where you're going, you might veer off course. So every Monday, we host sprint planning. It's all about planning. We encourage everybody, you got to make a plan. You got to put your plan down in writing. Right? Think, plan, and prepare, and then execute your plan. We've talked about the Born to Win Zig Ziglar book. Guys, you got to plan to win. You got to prepare to win. And if you do those both things, you can then start to expect to win. We're all winners here. You guys all have the mindset of a champion within you, and you can get there. I know it. So Monday sprint planning, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Adjust for your time zone. That brings us to the Tuesday call. It's Tech Tuesday, 2 p.m. Central Time. Master Trainer Kathy Inman takes an opportunity to come on, and we discuss all things tech-wise. Shuffle, tap, how to do this, how to do that. I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And it's all based on the participation within that group. So if you have a specific question, we're going to lean into that specific question and go through those answers. Tech Tuesday, 2 p.m. On Thursday, we do our Thursday Roundtable Mastermind. So that's where we pick a topic. We sort of muse together on that topic. I share some of my thoughts and ideas revolving around that topic. Then I invite you to join that conversation so we can all learn and grow together. And that brings us back to Fridays, and that's Fridays with the founders. Guy and I come on along with everybody from the community to talk all things Elify, everything from the technology and why and how and the history to the opportunity that we want to make available to everybody. So in closing, I'm going to throw down in the chat to everybody the Week at a Glance card. If you don't already have that, you can go on ahead and check that out. It has the Zoom links to all of those 4 calls, so you can add it to your calendar. You can make it repeating. It's got links on the bottom to all of the social sites, YouTube, the insider group, the affiliate group, Facebook, etc. Use that as a resource. We are here to support you, and that's really what it's all about. So I want to thank you for being a part of the Elify community. I want to thank you for joining the conversation, and I want to wish you guys a wonderful weekend.
Do you want us to send this link to all of our prospects that we have, or
entirely up to you, Anna? I want to collect as much feedback as possible.
Yeah, as wide an input as possible. I just
100%. This is our goal. So I've sent this out to everybody. If you're an affiliate and you're looking at those design pages, okay, send those out to your prospects, as Anna's talking about. Get their feedback. Again, we're trying to hone in a design that's very intuitive, very simple, right? Very comforting. We don't want anybody to be discouraged to go in and fill this thing out. If you're sending them a free digital business card, our goal, we want to make sure everybody in the world has a free digital business card. We want to make sure everybody in the world has access to Shuffle or to Tap so that they can grow their business and be successful. So with that being said, everybody, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you again for joining the conversation, and we'll talk to everybody on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye.